Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to It's All Connected, the Marvel, DC, Star Wars recap show here on the Illuminerdi. I am one of your hosts, Bryce West, a writer and editor for the Illuminerdi.com, and these are our other hosts.
What's up, guys? Richard Nebbins here. Glad to be back this week. Sorry about missing last week. I'm a writer for the Illuminerdi, and glad to be here. We got a lot to talk about.
Hey everybody, Caitlin Tyrrell, writer for the Illuminerdi. Yeah, we got a big day today. We are, of course, talking Loki and Marvel, but we also have the early reactions for Black Widow, which I know we're all really looking forward to, and we've got some other MCU and Sony Marvel news, because we're jumping into both of those areas. DC, we've got a lot of Flash news, and of course, the moment that Bryce has been waiting for, a Season 3 trailer of Titans.
Oh, yeah.
And Star Wars, we've got Bad Batch news, and we got some Ahsoka news that we broke this week. So we got a really, really fun show for you guys. But I think we are going to start out with Loki.
But first we do have Donnie.
Holy
We got
crap.
Donnie Pearson in the chat. What's going on, Donnie? He says, hello again, Bryce, Caitlin, Richard, and all. Happy summer. Also, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Hope everyone is well this afternoon. Yes, happy Father's Day to any fathers that might be watching It's All Connected. Here on the Illuminati today. We appreciate you. Happy Father's Day. But yeah, Loki.
I just spent the week with my dad, and that was pretty cool. He came up to visit, played
Nice.
4 rounds of golf. It was the best vacation I've ever had.
There we go.
But holy crap, episode 2 of as they are.
Should have seen that coming, honestly.
Right? It's like, giant bureaucracy that's like
Giant bureaucratic secret
evil
organization
DMV.
that nobody's heard about ever. Yeah, they're totally good.
They're fine. And we had the big reveal of the Loki in the hood. It looks like it's Lady Loki, but I've definitely seen some speculation that might not be entirely accurate. So that'll be fun to get into.
Yeah, right.
Wow, what did you guys think? 'Cause I thought, don't get me wrong, episode 1 was good, but whoa, this blew it out of the water for me.
Yeah, I mean, this was a crazy episode. Like you said, we got Detective Loki, we got, time travel, we got a bunch of TVA craziness. This whole Lady Loki, possibly not Lady Loki thing is going to be something really cool to see, because we've had teases that this is who she's playing for a good few months now. But no, I can't wait to see what the deal is with her. And personally, I'm just glad that I'm finally caught up with everybody, because I had to watch the first 2 episodes for the press stuff a while back, and now I'm finally at the point where I don't know what's actually coming.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I unfortunately was spoiled for the Lady Loki tease at the end before I watched the episode, so that kind of stunk. It's
Gotta watch it live.
Apparently.
Or not on Twitter.
Yeah, but it was really a really cool tease. I'm excited to see where they're going with that. Whether it is Lady Loki or whether it's not. I actually liked Detective Loki. I think it was really fun. I wouldn't mind seeing more of that. Obviously, I mean, I want to see the magic and the mischief as well. But I think adding that on top of Detective Loki, I think that could be a really fun dynamic in the show. I definitely like this episode more than episode 1, which is good. That's not usually the case, and so I'm hoping that means that Loki just keeps getting better and better as the show goes along. Obviously, Loki and Morbius being together is still absolutely hilarious. I love the two of them, and yeah, we did get a lot of Detective Loki, but we got plenty of mischievous Loki as well. I think, especially in the beginning.
Oh, you mean when he was just straight lying to them?
that was hilarious. And then like Morbius, like at the final second before the timeline red lines or whatever it is, he goes, "He's lying. Let's go."
Yeah, right.
And we got the scene where he goes, "You stab people in the back like 50 times."
What? Never do it again? That whole scene in the break room was great.
Oh, and he just wrecks his salad too. Yeah.
Loki
No, I thought it was great. Pompeii was hilarious. That was a good little segue.
I think that might be my favorite scene of the whole thing so far, honestly. Pompeii.
I also loved that we saw Loki get emotional about Ragnarok and then immediately act like he didn't care. I thought that was very on brand, very fun. But let's talk a little bit about this Lady Loki twist. So, obviously she's supposed to seem like Lady Loki, and it's very possible that she is. The only reason, there's 2 reasons I'm suspicious of it. I guess 3. So 1, she didn't really want to be called Loki. 2, in one of the credits in some other country that I can't remember, she's listed as Sylvie, I believe.
Right.
And then
which is, I think, Sylvie Laufey daughter, maybe?
It's a human that, in the comics, it's, I believe, a human that Loki kind of endowed with mischief magic powers. So she becomes the second enchantress, I believe. And they called the power she had of, getting people's heads enchanting.
I was saying, there's some teases that it could be. I mean, I'd be cool either way, whether it's Lady Loki, whether it's Enchantress. I mean, either way would be a pretty cool twist, a pretty cool addition to the show.
I was surprised she was a blonde, because Lady Loki's not in the comics. I actually believe Lady Loki is Sif's body that Loki has stolen.
What about Enchantress, though? Is she blonde?
Yep, pretty sure she's blonde, yeah. So that could lean more into the Enchantress. And of course, that whole Sif thing just got me thinking about that scene in Dark World where he's switching bodies and everything and turns Thor into Sif.
And there's also very possible, because it is the MCU, that they're kind of combining a couple characters. You know, that is not outside the realm of possibility. But so, yeah, I loved Lady Loki. I love that she just was screwing around with him because she didn't want to deal with him while she was trying to, I think this was the biggest moment, blow up the sacred timeline.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah,
it's not like the Avengers didn't already do that.
Episode 2.
I don't think they did it this bad.
Not even close. They maybe wrecked up one timeline, maybe 2012 New York. This one had 2030s Vormir. I think it had Asgard, New York, Hong Kong, and
Titan.
1,000. Yeah, Hala too. I mean, it had thousands of years worth of just absolute chaos.
I mean, we were saying on the live stream, I think they just set up the multiverse corner of Marvel, so I would guess Spider-Man and Doctor Strange for sure, and maybe even What If. This may have just set the stage for that. I saw a meme online, it's Doctor Strange just being like, what are they doing over there? That's exactly what it felt like for every other Marvel show. What'd you do? What'd you do, Loki?
Marvel does come up with some great memes, or it sets up some great memes. Although it's getting losers, we're going to go wreck the multiverse.
That's what happened.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty clear. I mean, I think that's at least. Now wait a minute. So, it still doesn't really make too much sense though, because we're going off of the fact that this might let's say we go to Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire in his own timeline, Andrew Garfield in his own timeline, but before. It was just the one timeline, so...
As far as we're aware, based on what the TVA says.
Yeah,
Which could all be a load of crap.
So would that mean that Loki caused Tobey Maguire's series and Andrew Garfield's series to happen?
Possibly.
That would be hilarious. Well, if the Sam Raimi trilogy and the Mark Webb duology was just retroactively Loki caused all of it that.
Well, then here's the thing too that I want to find out, because we had that thing a while ago. Just a real quick sidetrack where Alfred Molina said he's basically going to pick up right from the end of Spider-Man 2 when he's building that giant machine before Spidey stops him and everything.
Sounds like the variant.
Yeah, it's gonna be I assume it's gonna be before he turns good and saves the day and everything, but. That's gonna be really interesting to see, if Loki's the real reason for that happening, or if this show is the real reason for that happening when it happens.
Yeah, Loki definitely feels like if any Marvel show is gonna have the biggest impact, it's gonna be this one. At least for a while. Secret Invasion, I'm gonna guess it's gonna be huge too, but at least for a while, this feels like the one where you're like, oh, you need
So
to watch
far, yeah.
this, you know?
Yeah, because after What If, we've got like 4 solos here. I think it's like Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, and then She-Hulk. At least in terms of
They're all
timeline.
introducing new
Yeah.
characters.
Exactly. And Hawkeye's the only one that's centered on somebody that we know before. And like the other thing I'm thinking too is that these couple episodes of Loki are the first time that I've actually thought that What If might actually be legit connected to the timeline, to everything else that's happening. I mean, because we thought it was just going to be like, basically a recreation of the What If comics, where stuff got turned around and, different characters took different storylines or whatever. But with the multiverse stuff, this could really have an effect on the MCU and even What If.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think Loki's gonna be great. I mean, we're a third of the way through, which is simultaneously not very far, and also like way too far.
Yeah, it's like halfway through.
Uh-huh. Almost,
yeah.
We have 6 episodes.
Next week will be halfway. So.
Oh no, right.
Yeah,
We're only on
Loki is
episode 2. I
definitely-
thought for some reason it was episode 3. So, yeah.
We've had enough for 3
Yeah.
episodes. We've had enough material.
Yeah.
And, I mean, these have also been 2 of the longer episodes too. I mean, I think this and Falcon are going to be more of the kind of typical time length. Now, we don't know anything about What If because we know that's going to be 10 episodes, but we don't know anything about time.
I think that they're all about roughly the same total. So I think 10 episodes is like half hour, and I think
So
She-Hulk is the same. I could be misremembering.
Yeah, they've all been about 6 hours ish worth of material. So it'll be interesting to see how that lines up with like the timelines of the episodes.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Loki, definitely the show to keep an eye on, and we are excited for more.
Can't wait for next week.
And we also, in other big Marvel news, we have the first reactions for Black Widow, the first Marvel movie in 2 years. It is coming out like just over, like basically a week over 2 years from when Spider-Man Far From Home came out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've had this long a wait since like back when it started. This is insane.
Yeah, literally, this is the longest gap since the gap between Incredible Hulk and Iron Man 2, which was like, actually, this is longer than that. That was a little bit under 2 years. This is like barely over 2 years. So this is big,
crazy.
Right?
So yeah, I mean, Bryce, you are definitely looking forward to this movie. What are you thinking about the critics' reactions?
I think they seem generally positive so far. Not a surprise. It's Marvel, so if this were a DC movie, I'd be a little more interested. But it's coming from a DC guy. Don't attack me. But
I would be super interested in a DC movie that was getting like all positive reactions as well. That's not even a DC thing. That's just generally.
To see how people react to Suicide Squad when it comes out, or the Suicide Squad. That I'm curious
but
about.
So it's Marvel. I expect it as such. It's positive reaction. It's a Black Widow movie starring Scarlett Johansson. What's not to like there? I'm looking forward to it. It definitely makes me more excited to see the movie. I mean, I already was really pumped. We're getting intense action, probably the most practical action we have seen in an MCU movie thus far. We're seeing Taskmaster. We're seeing all of the Black Widows. David Harbour's in this. I mean, this movie is going to be absolutely sick. There was a rumor. Don't answer this, Caitlin. There was a rumor that Val from Falcon and Winter Soldier was a post-credit scene. So that would be great. I cannot wait to finally be back with Marvel movies. Hopefully I get to see it in the theater because that would go against everything I stand for with Premiere Access. But yeah, regardless, either way, if I can't see it in the theater, I guess I'm gonna have to pay the $30 and watch it before the show. So
I think we could all agree that Premiere Access is like Disney Plus did a great job being able to provide it to people who can't go to theaters, but it's a last
great job
is
us,
right?
An interesting statement. I think it's definitely a last resort. I think
great job. It did what they could.
I mean, it works. The movie plays. So.
You're acting like it's broken. It's
not broken.
It
works.
Like
I said, it works. It works.
Right.
It does the job. You can
it
watch
the
the movie with it. Should you No. But
Safe for you to go to
yeah,
theaters
right,
and you
right,
can
yes.
afford it. Yes.
I should, yeah, definitely for sure. If it is not safe for you, if you're not fully vaccinated, then yes, I think that is definitely a viable option. So there, that's a good point for premier access. Yeah, you're right. But if you're fully vaccinated and you feel comfortable going to the theater, go to the theater.
If
Yeah.
you want to go to a theater
Support
again because you haven't.
theaters
And if you
Yeah.
have
so
a
they don't
theater, yeah,
die.
yeah, if you have a theater near you as well. But
Oh yeah, yes, please. Honestly, at this point, we've been without theaters for so long. Like, people should go to the theater. Like, especially for a movie like this. I mean, Marvel makes these movies an event.
Yeah.
Like, seeing them in theaters is a full blown event. That's how they did it for 11 straight years, and that's how we assume they're gonna do it for, bless you, Black Widow. Um, So, and like you said, first Marvel movie in 2 years in theaters. I am all for theaters. Going back there to see it.
Definitely. No, I completely agree. I cannot wait to go see it in theaters because it's seeing a movie in
Yeah.
theaters. It's awesome, you know? Like,
Mhm.
it's the way you're supposed to see movies. It's supposed to
Right.
be an experience, not just, oh, I got 2 hours.
well,
I can watch
I'm
this now.
especially excited because it's my first movie in the theater since the movie that shall not be named. If you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. So
Yes.
because we're not
Yeah.
going into that,
So
to that rabbit
I'll-
hole, at least not yet. So
I'll say mine. It's my first movie since Tenet, and that was my first movie since Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Wow.
So I've only
And
seen
it's a
one.
bummer to be the first one you got back, dude.
Dude, I was.
I don't mean it's bad. It's just confusing for a lot of people.
still
So
think
it's like the first
you have
movie you go
to do
back. and
almost
you're
a week's worth of
confused.
research to figure out what the hell the movie's even about.
Yeah,
Is it that great of a movie?
that feels like a bummer. Mine was Cruella. I liked it. I thought it was good.
Okay, that's fair.
So funnily enough, this actually is a good segue. So the Black Widow press conference was this past Friday, and Kevin Feige himself has said that prequels are not off the
That's
table.
awesome.
So we had our first real prequel, not including Captain Marvel because that's more origin story than like prequel on her timeline. So I don't really include that. So
Right,
we had
fair
our
enough.
first like prequel on this specific character's timeline, and it looks like we could be getting more.
Yeah.
So that's
I hope so.
really.
we're getting Captain
I mean,
Britain.
we got all these.
It's a movie. We're getting it.
Captain Carter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Captain Carter. I keep. Yeah. But we're getting Captain Carter. It's gonna be Captain Carter, the first Avenger. ... Again. And.
Again.
Take two.
Honestly, that'd be cool. I
No.
would honestly like if they did like a Disney Plus thing for that, or hell, a movie too. That'd be sick. But I don't know. I think that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
I'll
But like other origins, like what else could they do?
It doesn't need to be an
I mean,
origin.
right? Yeah,
That's the thing.
other
It doesn't
prequels.
have
I
to
meant.
be
Yeah.
It just needs to be a prequel.
I mean, so far we
I mean,
had
you got-
Cap 1, Captain Marvel, which for obvious reasons for both of them. We think Shang-Chi might be one because apparently it's supposed to be set in between Infinity
the-
War and
I
Endgame,
don't
but even that's not.
really count those as prequels. I would count
Right.
those more as origin stories because this is set after Civil War, so it's
Right,
not like we're going back to the beginning
What about
of Black
Yeah.
Widow. So
what if they
I'm thinking
like somebody like rights issues include like if they figure something out? What if they did like Hulk?
Oh, that'd be
I
so.
think it'd be very cool. I think I would love to see Hulk going from the Hulk of Sakaar to Professor Hulk.
That's
Um,
definitely a major
awesome.
missing gap. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
or even,
also
like, if
love to
even if they did a
see
movie
the
between
rep-
Ultron and Ragnarok for Hulk, that'd be super
Yeah.
cool.
But both.
when he
I think.
takes over
Yeah.
Sakaar, that'd be great.
Yeah. that'd be-
I'd also love to see the Ravagers
Yes.
that Yondu
Yes.
was a part
Yes.
of. Like, there's a lot of places to go with it.
I want
They
that movie
could-
so
Totally.
So
That
there's a
would-
lot of
Although
very. So
it would
I
bring
think it's
Miley
very
Cyrus
cool.
fully into the MCU because she played one of those characters.
She's a robot. It's fine.
Yeah, I know.
It's just a
No,
voice
I
role.
just think it's so funny that Miley Cyrus is in the MCU and then she would be in like her own movie. Well, I mean, she would be a side character, but like still,
Yeah.
like it'd be a major movie
The MCU
with Miley
is gonna
Cyrus.
go for so long that there's gonna be a ton of other people like where you're just thinking, what
Everyone
the?
will be
They're in
in
the
it.
MCU.
Yeah.
We're sort of there. I mean, we get
Right?
we get
Miley
people pop
Cyrus.
up and we're surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Tony Leung from Shang-Chi is like a huge star in China, right? And he's gonna be
Yeah.
the Mandarin.
But no, definitely check out the Illuminerdi for our coverage on
Yeah.
the Black Widow press conference. There's tons of cool stuff there. We had David Harbour talking some Red Guardian. He definitely seems... That's another good prequel option because he seems ready to go with Captain America.
Oh, he seems ready to go.
And we got just tons of cool stuff. We've, of course, got Scarlett Johansson kind of talking about how knowing Black Widow's end game, she made the joke during it. It was great. Love it.
She got that one from Colin Jost.
Right?
They are married, aren't they?
Yes, they're married. And that is the most bizarre celebrity couple, I think, in Hollywood. I love it, though. I love it. Right? I love Colin Jost. Weekend Update is the only funny part of SNL. And so...
one of SNL's top guys with Black Widow. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, so, yeah, they have kind of how that affected this movie and the performance, which I thought was very cool. So, yeah, definitely check out our coverage of that. There's also where Kevin Feige talked a little bit about the opening credits scene, which is a little bit of a rarity for Marvel, is getting an actual opening credits sequence. So definitely check that out. It's a little tiny bit spoilery, not enough to like really be big, but it's a little bit spoilery, so it's very fun.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, I am looking forward to seeing this in the theaters. I know you guys are looking forward to seeing it in the theaters.
Hell yeah.
Me especially. I need to redeem myself from my last movie. So yes.
Hey, so do I. You know.
So we will definitely be talking some more Black Widow as all of that ramps up. We've also got some fun exclusives that we broke this week, including a couple What If and Craven. So
good stuff.
I think we should get into the What If first, because that was pretty cool. It was pretty interesting. We had a nice Killmonger one.
Oh yeah, so this is a good one. This is one I actually wrote up a while ago and just actually came out. So we've the other ones we've released have been kind of similar to this, you know, Black Widow in a post Ultron apocalypse kind of thing. Gamora being hunted by Tony Stark. This one also has other way around. Tony Stark hunted by Gamora. Yes, other way around. I was gonna
say that's weird. I guess it's What If, right? But
well, hey, so was the one that we actually released.
Yeah.
But anyways, funnily enough, this one also has to do with Tony, but it centers around Michael B. Jordan's Eric Killmonger. He's going to play a key role in one of the episodes of What If. He is going to have this kind of new international aspiring thing to go into because of a friendship with Tony Stark. And so that, I mean, obviously changes his path around a ton from Black Panther.
Sounds like they're making Killmonger a Spider-Man villain.
Oh, I don't know if I would go there. I mean, I would
it was a joke. It was a joke.
I know, I'm just saying, I'm just guessing, if he's tight with Tony Stark, I would assume, and this is based only off of my assumptions, nothing else, maybe Tony never got out of the, like, war game, you know?
Maybe he's still an arms dealer, yeah.
Yeah, still an arms dealer, and he could be, if him and Killmonger are tight, you know, maybe Killmonger's like, hey, I got an in with some vibranium.
They also have the MIT connections, so that's kind of where I was thinking that could be a good, you know, joining off point for them. But no, the arms dealer thing is actually super interesting because, like, the big thing about this show is that we don't really know how these episodes are going to connect with each other, really. Like, if they're going to be kind of...
Assuming they are.
We're assuming they are, but yeah, because there was the one where, you know, there's the whole Gamora and Tony thing. Now there's the whole Killmonger and Tony thing, which is going to be super interesting.
I wouldn't necessarily assume they're going to be connected story-wise. I would be unsurprised if it was still somewhat of an anthology, because they've talked a little bit about it where the Watcher himself feels kind of Twilight Zone-y, and those episodes are not like one leading into the other.
Right.
So I wouldn't be shocked about that. I mean, it's Marvel. There's probably going to be some big culmination at the end where we're all like, wait, what? But I wouldn't assume it's going to be the same Tony every time. So,
right, for sure. Or the same Killmonger, depending on how much he shows up.
Right, especially because there was that toy leak of the Tony who ends up on Sakaar in the Hulkbuster, so I'm guessing he's not the same one.
Yeah. It sounds like Tony's going to be in a lot of these what if storylines. So that really, like, it seems like we're reporting on a lot of what if storylines. It's just like, is this enough for 10 episodes? Like,
Right?
like it's just like it really
Yeah.
makes me wonder, like, are they doing more than one storyline per episode?
And also, here's what I'm
You don't
thinking
think
too.
so?
At this point, we have to assume that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to do this series just because of how much Tony Stark is in it. Because I remember when they initially announced it, the only two that weren't really confirmed for their roles were Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. I mean, they're both going to be a part of this show, their characters at least. I would assume that they got Robert Downey Jr. back for this one, just because it's not like in.
I might be misremembering this, but I think a while ago, it might have been Jeff Goldblum talking about recording with.
Yes, I think you're right.
Jr.
I think you're right. Yeah. So unless
That makes
Goldblum's
sense
lying,
because
which
there
I
was
can't.
an episode of Tony on Sakaar, so
Exactly. Which Jeff Goldblum and Robert Downey Jr. together is.
Oh my
is
God,
gonna
I can't
be
wait.
Amazing. Just give me more. Jeff Goldblum has to show up in Love and Thunder first of all, because we did not get enough of him in Ragnarok.
Jeff Goldblum needs his
he was
own
in
MCU
Australia
movie.
while they're filming.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like, so not Disney
Yay
Plus,
us.
not Disney Plus, like movie series, like a trilogy of Grandmaster.
I mean, I think he's like, I might be misremembering this from when I was told a while ago. In the comics, I think he's like connected to the Collector.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be brothers.
They're like
or something.
cousins, brothers
Right?
or cousins. Yeah.
They're related somehow. Yeah.
So I would love to see that whole, just like a family reunion movie of them just being terrible to each other. That'd be amazing. That's all I want now. But yeah, no, you're muted, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
You can literally have Star-Lord in there doing Guardians 2 family reunion. Yay!
She's just like not here for it, and everyone's like, "Oh, that'd be great."
Right.
But yeah, so we had that Killmonger, so I'm excited. I can't wait to see Killmonger and Tony Stark. I mean, I think it'd be cool if it was kind of more of it's Tony Stark who didn't get kidnapped and didn't get redeemed, so he's maybe a little more messed up. That, again, totally assumption.
Yeah.
Not anything other than a speculation.
That would kind of go with our other exclusive about Thor kind of being Thor if he hadn't gotten redeemed himself, so.
Right, douchey Thor.
Party Thor, yeah.
Douchey Thor, bro.
Bro Thor.
I don't know about
it. Bro Thor.
the real bro Thor. That's what they called Thor in Endgame.
Oh, man. Cheese whiz.
Man, you know what Thor doesn't get talked about enough? The Infinity War Thor. That was probably one of my favorites. He was
that and Ragnarok Thor are my favorite Thors so far.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Cheese whiz Thor.
Lebowski Thor?
Fortnite Thor.
Well, I can't wait to see Hulk Hogan Thor in Love and Thunder.
He's just Chris Evans is just Thor now. Every role it is, it's something Thor.
Yeah, no.
He's like in a really serious drama. You're like, oh, it's dramatic Thor. Nope.
Oh, God. Hemsworth, not Evans. Yeah.
Evans. Sorry, Hemsworth. Yes, not Evans.
Yeah. Damn all those Chris's.
Yeah.
There's so many.
We just need to get Pine in there somehow.
Yeah, well, he's still a comic book character, regardless, so...
I'm sure he'll show up. I feel like every single person in Hollywood is going to show up at some point.
Oh, God, absolutely.
Required.
Right.
And then our other what-if story was a little bit more information about Star-Lord T'Challa. So that first came to light with the trailer back on Disney Investor Day in December. So we all knew it was coming, and oof, that episode's going to hurt.
That one's going to be rough.
But what we did learn, which is very cool, is it looks like he will not only be like the one that's abducted by Yondu and his crew of Ravagers instead of Peter Quill. He's going to take on kind of the moniker of Star-Lord. He's going to end up being the leader of the Ravagers that are kind of like reformed criminals.
That Wakanda influence coming in.
Right? He's like, I got this. You got, instead of Peter Quill, who's like run away and double cross, you got...
Because he's like 9. They're like 9 or something when they get kidnapped by Yondu, probably, right?
He's like, I was training to be a king and the protector of my country. I can totally lead a band of pirates. It's fine.
I got this.
Oh, man, I'm so excited. Like, they're going to be going crazy, like, adventures in the galaxy. So it's like, are they helping people or are they just doing, like, piratey vigilante shit? What's going on? I'm so excited for it.
Right?
No, I mean
Uh,
it's gonna be cool to see Bozeman one last time. I'm assuming, and unless he recorded more that we don't know about,
Kevin Feige did say that they recorded
A lot.
for like a few episodes,
okay,
so
so
I
Yeah.
would not be shocked to see him show up in the Killmonger episode.
yeah, I think that'd be awesome as
I was
well.
just thinking that. How weird is that gonna be? Like Star Lord
Yeah,
versus
that's
Killmonger, but
yeah,
it's T'Challa.
yeah,
I don't think it's gonna be that version.
yeah.
Again,
Well,
that's just
yeah,
me
exactly,
guessing,
but
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 super
yeah, it's
weird
still
regardless.
such an oddball choice to make T'Challa Star Lord.
I
I'm
Right?
love it.
excited for it, but it's just like so. I think it's definitely the most random out of all of the what if scenarios. You know, like I
Absolutely.
would have
Because like
never
you
guessed.
get
Oh yeah, T'Challa Star Lord. You know, like
yeah, like Peggy becoming Cap totally makes
yeah,
sense.
Mhm.
Even Tony going to Sakaar, I could kind of see that happening in some strange world. But T'Challa and Star Lord is just
yeah,
it's such an unexpected combination. But I can't wait to
yeah,
see it.
I mean, that's what if,
yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
What if T'Challa was Star
When they're
Lord? It's just who comes up with that? Like you know, it's just like you gotta have a real creative mind, I think, to come up to like, yeah, let's make T'Challa Star Lord. You know,
right.
you're
so
just staring at the Guardians of the Galaxy and Black Panther posters, and you're like, I got it.
You're,
Right?
I
Just
would
burned
like
as a
to
dread.
assume that that's how they came up with that. It's just like, oh yeah,
Right.
okay. It's like,
Oh,
so,
man. Yeah, no. What if
oh
honestly
man.
has been high up on my like most anticipated list for a while since it came out. I mean, especially I'm all about animation stuff. I love anything animation basically, and especially with this kind of animation and this kind of story, it signed me up.
Yeah.
Plus, the Watcher is just cool.
Oh yeah, Jeffrey Wright's gonna kill it, and Jeffrey Wright's becoming like Mr. Comic Book movie with this and the Batman.
Yeah.
100%. This
And
is like
isn't
gotta be
he?
the fun, like most fun. You just go record
Am I
stuff.
making this up?
Right,
Is
you just go
he
sit
one
and
of like
record.
the million people in like Super Pets or something? Like, I
Who knows? Like Jamila Jamil is in Super Pets now. I got no concept of what that movie is.
God, isn't John Krasinski in that movie
yeah,
and Kevin
he's
Yeah,
playing
Hart?
Mr.
Keanu Reeves.
Fantastic Dog.
Mr. No, no, no,
Give me a
better.
wiener dog stretch.
Oh dear God! If they make him a wiener
Wait,
dog, that would be
no,
beyond
he's
hysterical.
playing Plastic Man Dog. Is they can't get him a
Oh
Mr.
man.
Fantastic, so they make him in Marvel. So they make
Oh,
him Plastic Man Dog in Super
oh
Pets.
man, right?
Oh man. But yeah, that is our little what if scoops for this week. And then we had another fun Marvel scoop in the Sony side. And with looks like a villain for Craven.
Yeah, no, super weird. So the basics of this is that the Craven movie starring Aaron Taylor Johnson, which that's still weird for me to wrap my head
Yeah.
around that in the first. Quicksilver is playing Craven. That the villain of that movie is going to be the Chameleon, and that Sony's targeting an actor in their 30s to play the villain role. Not too many other details. And that we don't know if it's going to be the only villain in the movie, but he's going to have a big role in it.
Real quick,
Yeah.
It makes
Frank
sense.
Berry is in the chat. What's going on, Frank? How are you today? He says, "What's
Thank you,
up?"
Frank.
Hey Frank. I mean, it makes sense to bring this character in because they are half brothers in the comics.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point.
So that's a good way to do it. I think it'll be interesting to see if he's like him being an antagonist. So there's probably going to be some family like bad blood there, and also just this is like what Sony's doing is weird, but I'm kind of interested in
Yeah.
it because they're like taking these Spider-Man villains and making them protagonists. I wouldn't say heroes, but protagonists.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how that goes down. I mean, Craven's like what the big game hunter, so
Yeah.
that like what is gonna be going on with that? I can't wait to see what's going
can't-
on, and I think
Go.
ooh, Chameleon's a cool
Yeah.
character. He's like literally disguises himself as people, so it's that moment of anyone can be Chameleon in the movie. We aren't gonna know until
Go
it's
with the
revealed.
scrolls a little bit. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, right?
I'm looking forward just to see like what in the world Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to look as Craven. Like,
Right.
Frank, well, I think we're all doing well. So thank you for asking.
Thanks, Bryce.
Yeah, it's just like Aaron Taylor Johnson definitely wouldn't be my first like. Oh yeah, this is gonna be Craven. I think Keanu Reeves. I know he was offered the role, right?
Offered it, turned it down.
And then passed on it. I think Hugh Jackman would have made an interesting Craven.
My pick would have been Jason Momoa.
Oh, that
personally.
would have been if he wasn't so deep into DC.
Awesome.
Yeah, that would have been a great Craven. But no, I mean Aaron Taylor Johnson, he's a great actor. It's just wouldn't have been my first guess. So I'm interested. I'm intrigued. So yeah.
I mean, on the Sony side, that's like, if you're interested, I feel like they won.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like them in DC. It's the same way. If you're interested, you've won.
Well,
right?
I don't know about. Okay, that's
at least so
much,
far.
Going forward for DC,
I don't know.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
I'm interested in like 90% of the DC movies coming out, so I'm gonna say good job on that front. And then a little bit more of that Sony news. It looks like the Spider-Man 3 marketing got a little bit of an interesting, unexpected twist.
Yeah. So, is that my story? Yes, it is.
That's you, Bryce. It's all you.
Yeah. So sorry, I just completely spaced out there for a second. But yeah, so Sony and Marvel are collaborating with the marketing, which is interesting considering the rumors. Are they even rumors at this point of what's going on in that movie? So with Marvel, collaborating with the marketing, maybe we're going to see more Marvel stuff in the marketing, like more Doctor Strange, like more like MCU stuff, as opposed to maybe if it was just all Sony, like I'm assuming it usually was. I don't really know what it was like before.
I think it's like Sony's run.
Yeah.
Like they're running it, but Kevin Feige is essentially like just really heavily involved or something. That's kind of what it's like.
I think Marvel's mostly making the movie, and then Sony's in charge of like the behind the scenes, like the marketing and the promoting.
Stuff, okay.
But yeah.
So I feel like if this were like Sony marketing. We'd probably be seeing a lot more of the Sony characters.
This is probably Kevin Feige doing, ironically enough, damage control to keep them from showing too much. Which
is, honestly, at this point, they're too far gone, in my opinion. I say just show it, but...
yeah.
There's still stuff like that. If I were them, I wouldn't want necessarily to be like in your face about it. I would want to still at least attempt to keep it close to the vest. Like, I wouldn't want to be like, oh, look, it does have all of these Sony characters. I'd want to be like, maybe it doesn't quite have all of them. Maybe like it doesn't have 12. It seems like maybe there's only a couple.
Yeah.
So
here's where, if this were just me doing this trailer, here's where I would lean. I'd definitely lean into the on the run stuff, continuing on from the last movie. I'd say if you're gonna feature a villain, I'd say maybe Doc Ock, just because Alfred Molina.
Because he's already talked about it, yeah.
Exactly.
Everybody's already talked about it. I mean, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
They haven't done a full interview where they're explaining how they're doing it.
I mean, so lean into him, lean into Doctor Strange, and maybe do like a little tiny tease of maybe Maguire and Garfield. Like nothing huge, even just their masks or something.
I think that'd be great. Like kind of what he did with Zemo, where he was carrying his mask.
Yeah.
I think
at least acknowledging the fact that this is a thing. Don't show everything, but at least acknowledge the fact that everybody already knows. So just capitalize on it.
Yeah, it can be like a last second thing.
Yeah.
Like an Emperor Palpatine at the end of the trailer for the movie that shall not be named.
Yeah.
That got me super hyped though until the movie
came out.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Frank,
we're all looking forward to Spider-Man. So I'm not too worried about the trailer. I'm sure it'll be
Feige
cool.
said it's their movie, so they're doing the marketing, but they're working very closely and making sure that they
Right.
know what the other is doing at all times, so they don't release something that may hurt the other.
Full
Yeah,
disclosure.
so I think they definitely need to be doing that a lot more, or else we're gonna get a 8 years later, like we did in Homecoming, that completely breaks the MCU timeline and makes absolutely no sense at all.
Yeah. Now I will say this. I think either the Russos or John Watts admitted that was a mistake. I feel like it should have been 4, just because that's how the timeline would work out. But
That
yes,
ticks me off every time I see that. Like, it's just like, how do you do that?
That's my
like,
one big gripe about that movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll say this: the first trailer for No Way Home, I think, has a chance to be like probably the most watched trailer.
Oh my god, people talk about it every other day on Twitter. Is it dropping today? Is it dropping today? It's a random Thursday, dude. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, I think this could top Endgame and Infinity War in terms of just numbers.
Maybe.
It's just because it's been so highly, like, anticipated. You know what I mean? Like, if there was not this, like, weird... Because at first, it really started with people being like, they're going to drop it on Tom Holland's birthday.
Yeah,
because they did it on Simu Liu's birthday, so now everybody's birthday has to have a trailer.
Right? It was
enough in the timeline of when it could happen that it would make sense.
I guess. I don't know.
I mean,
I
think it's going to be closer to Black Widow. I don't necessarily think they're going to release the first one only in Black Widow theaters. I think it'd be cool if they did, but I think it's going to be close to Black Widow just because then they can have it playing in theaters. So
for sure, yeah.
That's my guess. And then we got some other cool Disney news, of course. It looks like you mentioned Simu Liu. He had a fun little anecdote that he talked about in an interview.
Yeah, this is really fun. I thought this was gonna get me and my guys at the Direct in trouble a little bit because we basically just did his quote, but basically he teased the fact that there's a chance that Shang-Chi could appear in other platforms outside of the movies. Basically,
the character, not the movie.
The character, not the movie. Yeah, exactly. So like movies, streaming, series, or video games. That's literally what he said, and he gave Kevin Feige a ton of props for building this ecosystem where he described it as platform agnostic, and
not wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And I look back at other quotes he says. He himself has teased that he would love playing the character in a video game if that ever came to be. So, like, I mean, obviously we don't know. I think we're going to learn a lot more about how these projects interconnect with each other once the movies start coming out. So, like, once Black Widow comes out, once actually Shang-Chi comes out, I think we'll be able to see kind of how they actually connect with each other. But, I mean, the chance that stuff could happen is in that.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that makes me think, because Agents of Atlas is something that I think everyone has wanted since Jimmy Woo showed up and we just killed it in WandaVision. Shang-Chi is part of Agents of Atlas. So if it's possible for him to cross over into streaming, that'd be a cool way to do it. And that, again, no way are we saying that's in development or that's happening.
No.
Please do that. That'd be cool.
We just want it.
Yeah.
Gimme.
I want a Jimmy Woo trilogy.
Yeah. Random side note about Jimmy Woo. I completely forgot he was in Aquaman also. We had that movie on TV the other day, and I completely forgot. Randall Park, yeah. That I forgot that he was in that and Ant-Man and the Wasp in the same year. That was super weird.
And he was Jim on The Office. Ha ha ha. Get it? Because he was in that one episode.
Dan Race.
I'm hoping he shows up in Aquaman too, because I love that he's cool. Like this weird little nerdy guy who seems like he's gonna become evil because no one believes him.
Right, exactly.
Oh man, but yeah, so definitely interesting. I think if they're gonna start really, really interconnecting and crossing over, that this is a cool character to do that with, because he does connect to a lot of other areas like that. And I mean, we've all talked about how it looks like they're setting up Young Avengers, and we just don't know if that's going to be Disney Plus or like a movie. If they're going to do a team-up movie, then that's, again, it's really like you had to watch all these shows to know who these guys are on a deeper level than their name, Yeah. So no, definitely interesting possibility. And speaking of those Disney shows, it looks like they will be moving thanks to Loki.
Officially.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yippee. So whenever
Bryce is thrilled.
whenever they moved Loki to Wednesdays, I thought that was a really good idea because it gave kind of the different shows to be a chance to be spaced out and to breathe a little bit. And I kind of like the idea of Disney Plus kind of spacing out their programming and having something different come out maybe even every day. So nope, now they're just moving everything to Wednesday, so that goes kind of out the window. So yeah, now we're back to Star Wars and Loki on the same day.
I don't know though. Like they're not moving Bad Batch.
Oh, they're not?
Which is good.
Then what are they doing?
That's gonna stay Fridays.
Okay.
That's gonna stay Fridays.
Well, then what's
the new
moving?
shows are gonna come out on Wednesday. Like new shows that are coming out. They haven't made clear about Boba Fett. I think we're kind of the expectation at this moment because they've said their new shows are moving to Wednesday. They'll be Wednesdays, but I also don't think they're going on Double Up. Because it feels like that's why they moved Loki in the first place. So I wouldn't be shocked, assuming this is assuming Boba Fett's coming out in December, and like I don't know, Hawkeye or something is going on at the same time. That to me would make it seem like maybe they're gonna have Hawkeye on Wednesdays and Boba Fett on Fridays, or depending on what they think is gonna do better, flip flop it. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just all speculation, but I wouldn't be shocked for them to kind of down the line too, when they've got Marvel shows and Star Wars shows coming out really at the same time, to be like, okay, this is Marvel Day, this is Star Wars Day. That would not be a surprise to me.
And especially now that the movies are coming out too, and those always drop on Fridays or Friday midnight.
Yeah.
So yeah,
definitely. Especially because Marvel movies are coming out a little more frequently, but they don't have Star Wars movies really in the immediate pipeline. So I wouldn't be shocked for maybe Star Wars to be Fridays, just because then you're not having Marvel compete with Marvel.
Exactly.
So yeah, it means we're gonna be having our Marvel watch-alongs on Tuesday nights for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, I think that's an interesting tidbit. I mean, the reason it's doing that too is Loki just debuted to such high numbers. So
Right.
I'm really interested to see if that continues. I don't know necessarily that What If is going to be having the same stratosphere numbers that it is animation.
Does it have to do with the day, or does it have to do with Loki? I mean,
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, because like the numbers for every Disney Plus show so far, the first 3 have all gone up in viewership. Like since WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, and then Loki, all of them have increased in viewership, like with every time. Now, What If might be a weird scenario just because it's animated and because it's a little bit different, but I'm betting that streak will continue with Miss Marvel when that comes out too.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm curious to see if it's going to happen with. I'm curious to see what happens with What If. I'm curious to see if that'll happen with Miss Marvel because A, it is a new character, and B, it's like a teenager. So I don't know necessarily if you're going to get like out of this world numbers. I think Hawkeye will be an interesting indicator because he is an Avenger.
An OG Avenger. Yeah.
He's also just not like Loki's a very beloved character. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen kind of going forward with that. And then we've got a little bit more of that fun Sony news. In an odd situation with Morbius.
Yeah, so according to a Sony exec, Morbius is not in the MCU. After Tyrese Gibson said it was in the MCU. So it's just all cover up. I mean, it's clearly. I mean, there's a lot of connections there. The Spider-Man mural in the back where it says Spider-Man's a murderer. That's obviously a reference to Far From Home, in my opinion. Michael Keaton shows up at the end. He was introduced in an MCU movie. So maybe it could be some multiverse stuff, but regardless, they are connected somehow, some way, whether it's a different universe or the same universe or what. I think it's just them trying not to spoil whatever the heck is going on in No Way Home.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like, Morbius feels like a totally different vibe than, like, the
Anything
MCU.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not saying either side's wrong, because I have no idea. It's a little weird that they both did that. I was like, Tyrese Gibson. Don't know if you were supposed to say that. Oh, you clearly weren't supposed to say that. Okay.
First of all, this is news to us that he's even in the movie. Like, did you guys know that he was in the movie? Like,
you know what? Not until this news, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've
the
never
only ones
known a lot about Morbius.
The only ones I knew were in the movie were Jared Leto and Michael Keaton.
I knew Matt Smith is in it, right? The Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So, and he's playing the villain, I think. So
That's so weird. Isn't Morbius a villain?
Yeah,
Wow.
Sony really capitalizing on those protagonist bad guys.
Sony, am I right?
Very curious. Very curious to see what happens.
I think the first trailer looked good. So, I like the first trailer.
I haven't watched it. It's been, what, a year since the first trailer came out or something? It's been a while.
I haven't seen it recently.
But I watched it a few weeks ago. So
okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting that they really felt the need to come out and say it's not MCU because, like you said, Bryce, there's a lot of indications that looks like it could be.
Looks like Frank Berry is one of the very
two.
few people who knew that Tyrese Gibson was in Morbius. Congratulations. Yeah, because I feel like I saw a lot of people just on the internet in general that were surprised that he was in the movie. So yeah, good on you, Frank, for knowing that Tyrese is in the movie. He says Tyrese is a SHIELD agent. Okay, well I don't know if that's been confirmed.
SHIELD agent.
Maybe that's speculation, but yeah. But otherwise, yeah. Morbius. It's interesting. It's gonna be. Yeah.
It's a movie that's gonna come out.
According to Sony, it's not MCU. We'll keep you apprised of any developments in that. Basically, is where we're at with that. But it should be interesting.
Moment to moment basis.
Yep. And then so that was during the. It looked like when that got dropped, that was during the F9 press stuff a little bit. So. Vin Diesel also talking to, I believe, I think both of them are Brandon Davis over at Comic Book. So Vin Diesel talking to him teased Planet X, which is Groot's home planet. So it's a lot of possibilities for us to see that. Maybe it's Guardians 3. Maybe it's Thor: Love and Thunder. Maybe it's I Am Groot. The animated series?
The holiday special.
Oh yeah, maybe. But no, Planet X is. I mean, we're gonna see more like the Groot style, like Flora Colossus. So that'll be interesting.
Also,
I believe.
I completely forgot about I Am Groot. I feel so bad that I forgot about that series just because there's so much that's coming.
Well, I'm really interested in Planet X because from what I can tell, it looks like in the comics, Groot is pretty much banished from Planet X. So. What does that mean for them going back there? Why are they going back? Is it going to be something that goes very, very poorly? Like, what's going to happen with that? It's going to be really interesting.
I mean, any more background on Groot is going to be great. And especially because, like, we know I Am Groot is going to be more of Baby Groot stuff. But he's kind of turning back into, I know James Gunn says it's not the same thing as he was in Guardians 1, but more of the adult, like, prime Groot, if you want to call it that. So
I miss Prime Groot. Teenage Groot sucks.
Teenage Groot's a dick.
Right?
And now we know how Yondu felt.
Yeah, that's great. Because that to me was like, Peter Quill, were you this awful?
Right? Really put it in perspective for him.
Oh, yeah, but no, I think it'll be interesting to go to Groot's home planet. I mean, I love that Vin Diesel teased that, because you're kind of like, again, it's like, were you supposed to say that? I don't know, but I'm thinking that this is going to be exciting.
Well, at least that's the thing about him is, like, he didn't actually give a ton away. Because, like, we said, we don't know what project it's going to be in. We just know that, like, Groot's story is going to be expanded on in some way, which is cool. It's a cool enough tease that, like, leaves you
maybe
wanting
one
more.
of those prequels? Maybe. I don't know.
That'd be cool, yeah.
And our last bit of Marvel news, segueing, is actually for Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh yeah, this is a good one. So we got the first look at Natalie Portman's mighty Thor, Jane Foster, and the costume looks awesome. I mean, it looks like almost straight out of the comics. It looks like Mjolnir has been like put back together from what I saw in that image. So maybe they like find the one that Hela broke. Because what I've been thinking is with all this multiverse stuff, yeah.
Sorry.
I'm
Helen's
good.
attacking you. He's like,
Okay, fine. I'm cool. I'm fine.
Oh man.
But anyway, so like what I've been thinking is that it may have to do with all this multiverse stuff. Like maybe they'll go grab another Mjolnir, like how they did in Endgame. But since Steve took that one back, and I would assume the pieces of the original Mjolnir are still lying in that mountainous range in Norway. Maybe they find a way to put it back together. But I mean, either way, she looks awesome.
I literally never thought of that. The pieces still have to be there because don't you
Right?
still have to be worthy to pick them up?
Right? You still
That
would have to be
never
worthy to
occurred to
pick
me.
up the metal, right?
That's hilarious. They're just gonna go there and it's like just these like holes where the pieces have fallen and the grass died and everything. Oh man, that would be so
Right?
funny if they did that. That would be great. But
That'd
no,
be
I
pretty
mean, she
cool.
with the helmet and everything, she looks badass. I'm so
Right.
excited for it. We saw Valkyrie looking good, and then Thor looked like his armor was a little bit updated too, which is cool. Man, I can't wait. This is gonna be cool as hell.
Yeah.
He's had a different costume like almost every movie.
And
I mean, like the
hairstyle.
same basic layout, but and hairstyle, yes.
And the pattern continues because he does once again.
Mhm.
There we go.
Man,
And now
I
he just
can't
has the
wait
biggest
for Thor
arms
Love
in the history of the world.
I can't wait for Thor: Love and Thunder. That movie's gonna be packed, and we're getting Mighty Thor, which is gonna be really, really
Yeah.
freaking cool. We get Valkyrie coming back. I can't wait for more Valkyrie. She was amazing in Love and Thunder.
She
So,
was
or
great.
not Love and Thunder, I was saying
Ragnarok.
So she's just, oh, I'm excited for this. And they all look,
She was good for the 5 minutes she was in an Endgame.
yeah, where she took over Asgard.
Right. I think I liked you better either of the other ways.
I love it. I can't wait for Thor: Love and Thunder. I mean, Taika kills it with Thor, so I'm excited. And then we're getting Lady Sif back too, so I'm excited
Yes,
for
I
that.
can't wait for
I
that.
feel like she's gonna show up on Earth and be like, "Where are my friends? Why are we here? What did you do?"
What the hell happened?
And when they're like, Loki,
She's gonna pull Ant-Man's line from Endgame. What the hell happened here?
yep. The one thing she's gonna be happy about was when they're like, Loki's dead. She's gonna be like, "Yes, finally."
Yeah.
Oh,
And you know what? Weirdly enough, her not being in Ragnarok might have ended up being a good thing just because of what happened to everybody else. Because she wasn't in that because of her scheduling conflicts with Blacklist. So, Blind Spot, right? Blind Spot. Yeah, that one too.
Spader's is blessed.
James Spader's Blacklist. Yeah, Jamie Alexander is Blind Spot. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, maybe it's a good thing that she had the scheduling conflicts because she's
100%
still
a good
alive.
thing. They killed off the Warriors 3 so quickly.
Yeah.
In 2 seconds. Yeah.
Still, one of my favorite moments though was when he's like, "Whoever you are," and she goes, "Whoever I am." Were you listening?
What I said.
Like, that's such a good smackdown from him.
That is
Whoever you are.
iconic.
I'm like, if I was about to get murdered by some evil witch god, I would for sure say something snarky and horrible like that. You have no other control but other than being horribly disrespectful.
She could
Kudos.
not even at that moment
She was so done.
before she even killed anybody.
Whoever I am, were you listening? I did a whole speech. I've practiced this. Come on.
Spent
Got my
1,000
outfit
plus
all
years
good.
in literal hell.
Just practicing the speech, and you went, "Whoever I am." No, not today. Not dealing with this.
Nope. I can't do this with you right now.
Oh man, but yeah, I can't wait. And I before we move on to DC, I can't wait to see Melissa McCarthy played.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
amazing.
I'm so excited. I would love to have a post-credit scene of Hela at the end somehow seeing that and just being like, "I was so miscast." She's so not cool with it.
Right.
Oh
That would be,
man.
oh
I hope they
man,
find
I
a way
can't
to bring her back at some point.
She was badass. She was cool.
She was. She's one of my favorite MCU villains.
I loved when she would do this and the hair turned into crazy horns and stuff.
Yeah.
Very, very awesome. But yeah, that is our big Marvel news for this week. Please join us on the Marvel Illuminerdi watch along, where we'll be watching episode 3 of Loki, and we'll be halfway through. On
We still have 3
Tuesday-
more shows this year, so we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. On Tuesday at 11:40 p.m. Pacific. Myself, Richard, Brax, and TC will be speculating before the show, and then afterwards breaking it down and speculating for the next one. So definitely be sure to tune in for that with us, and be sure to catch Richard's recap shows where he talks about what happened on the latest episode of Loki in case you missed it or you need a little bit of a refresher before the next episode. I know I am always before the episode going,
Yep.
oh god, I don't remember everything that happened. Okay, so definitely good to tune in for that.
Thank you.
Now we can move on to DC, where we've got some
No, we've got some good set pictures coming out, like especially in the last couple of days. It's been nuts.
Yeah. And then before we get into kind of the set pictures, we here at the Illuminerdi had a very fun exclusive related to The Flash. It looks like we are going to be seeing Grant Gustin's The Flash from the CW show pop up for some sort of cameo over on the Flash movie. So we saw that in the Crisis on Infinite Earths. And now it looks like we're going to see that flipped. So it'll be very fun. I just love Grant Gustin as the Flash. He's so cool.
Yeah, even for as little of the Flash as I've watched, he's a good Flash. He's a good Barry Allen.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool to be able to see the inverse of what we saw in Crisis. You know, in Crisis on Infinite Earths, Grant Gustin's Flash is the one who gives Ezra Miller's Flash the idea of the name Flash. So I kind of hope we kind of get a little bit of that in this movie.
Well, continuity.
Yeah, and so I'm excited to see
where he just appears and I was like, I'm the Flash now, and everyone goes, what?
And so I'm kind of hoping that we get to see, I'm really interested to see what Grant Gustin is going to be doing in this movie. But nonetheless, I mean, I'm here for it. I mean. It doesn't really matter what he's doing. It's Grant Gustin in the Flash movie, so it's expected but also unexpected. You know, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I think the best way I can describe it is, oh, that fits.
Yeah.
You know,
it makes sense.
Like, right? Because it's like we know they're doing multiverse stuff again. I mean, that's just the way to go. It seems like right now, with the fact that we're getting Michael Keaton. So the fact that we're getting Grant Gustin, it's like, oh yeah, that tracks. Yeah. That sounds cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And speaking of Michael Keaton, we got a fun little look at him on set. I think today is when that picture came out.
He looks
so,
kind of like the Vulture from the Spider-Man movies.
What? No, that can't be true. I refuse to believe that.
Richard is not amused. Holy cow! Wow.
Anyways,
I
can't do this with you right now.
He definitely looks full Bruce Wayne, which looks, you know, so yeah.
It looks like he's wearing a wig, maybe, like, because his hair's not that white in real life, right?
No, I think it looked...
there is a thing called hair dye.
Well, yeah, there's that.
I think it looked like his hair. I didn't look like a wig.
I didn't think it looked like
it. Yeah. Well, it also was to see how he adjusts. This is what 30 years after his first Batman movie came out. Over 30 years. So.
Batman Beyond.
Here's hoping.
Yep. And we got some other cool little sneak peeks with the set pictures too that you guys should probably talk about.
Yeah. So we got kind of like a poster tease of, what is her name? The girl playing Supergirl. Starts with an S.
Sarah.
Sasha Calle?
Yeah, Sasha Calle.
Yeah.
In Sasha Calle's Supergirl suit, but we pretty much only got to see like the emblem.
The logo, yeah.
But now with set photos, we actually see the full costume, and her as Supergirl, and I think she looks pretty good. You know.
There's no cape, but I figured they'll add that in post.
Maybe.
And
that's a little weird. That thing that threw me off was the weird, like, kind of like what they did with Zach Levi in the muscle-looking suit. They got like this weird six-pack thing on the stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah, that threw me off a little bit. It looks
all
odd.
the DC suits, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That that's just kind of how they all look at this point. You know,
I'm not used to it.
So,
that might have been why it stood out to
yeah.
me, because I was
I
like,
think me too.
I mean, that's kind of what it's been like
choice.
since Man of Steel. So,
not that like women don't look badass with a six-pack. I am in no way saying that.
No, it's the six-pack thing in general on the suit.
It just looks clearly like not real,
Hers,
is what throws me off with. But no, she looks cool. Like, I think I was talking a little bit about this before the show. I was a little surprised she wasn't blonde. I don't mind. It just, I was surprised.
I mean,
So
Melissa Benoist wasn't blonde whenever the Supergirl started. So,
yeah,
she wasn't. Look it up.
That's not her natural hair. That's not her natural hair color, but she was always blonde in the show.
I don't know. Here, let me look.
But
well, note to self. Go back and check out season 1 of Supergirl.
I mean, she's got. I don't know. Like, she's definitely got a lot more.
I
blonde.
watched it. I watched it.
I'm looking at it right now. Would you wait for me to agree with you, please? I'm looking at it right now. Yes, she does look blonde, but she definitely got a lot more blonde as the show went on. So
you just pulled a Tony from Homecoming. Don't interrupt me when I'm complimenting.
Yeah. So.
But no, I was a little surprised by it. I don't mind. I think she still looks cool. I just was a little surprised by it. I like that they're going with the short hair, because that's not something we got to see in the show, and I don't think we're going to see it in the last season. I don't really see them just cutting all of her hair off unless Melissa Benoist wanted to, just personally. But no. Please, sir, don't cut my hair.
Please, God, don't cut my hair. That whole scene was amazing. Of course, it was Stan Lee who did it too.
I loved the knife hands thing. That was great.
That was great. But anyway.
But yeah, no, she looks cool. I mean, I like the costume. I think she looks good. I'm excited to see if they connect her to Superman, because we know the Flash knows him. So I think there's a lot of really interesting directions they can go with this. And we saw another DC superhero, not quite in the flesh, or the Flash.
Ish, yeah. So on one of the buses that they're using on set, we got a good big ol' image of Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman in costume, in universe. So there've been rumors that she was in the movie in some capacity from a while ago.
Oh my God, I would love if this was it.
But oh my God, if this is it, like if this is all we see of Wonder Woman in this movie, good Lord.
Can you imagine? There's like a rumor of like the entire Justice League is in it, and they're just on posters randomly throughout the movie.
Or it's like newscasts or something. Oh man.
Oh, that'd be great. But yeah, I mean, she's on a bus. That's cool. Yeah. Like, I don't really know what to do with that.
Right?
It looked like it was like some kind of charity or something like that she was advertising for.
I think it was a children's hospital or something.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's at least kind of cool that they have that being in universe. The superheroes.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And stuff. I think that would be a very cool thing.
Frank Berry says, "I've been waiting for this Flash movie for like 10 years now. We're getting close."
Hey, all of us have.
Really?
Didn't they announce it in 2014?
Yeah, and it comes out in 2023.
22 at the end of 22.
But yeah, it's still pretty close. Years.
This is literally where they should have put the Homecoming 8 years later thing.
Yep.
Like, it's just Peter in the movie theater watching The Flash.
Watching The Flash.
But then again, that makes sense because the MCU literally brought the Invisible Jet and I think at least one other thing before the DC universe did.
Yeah, well.
Oh, but I mean, it's exciting that they're filming and that we're getting kind of these little teases from it. So again, I remember Bryce saying a while back, I'm not going to believe it's going until they're filming. Well, I think we can believe it's going now.
It's been going for a couple months now, right?
I was the same with the Batman. I was the same with Venom. And it looks like we're getting all of the. Well, we already got Venom, and looks like we're getting the Batman and the Flash. So we're finally here. It's happening. So
you know what? You know what I actually have to give the Batman a lot of credit for? The fact that how much of filming was done before that trailer dropped? A quarter of
25%.
The fact that they made that cool of a trailer with 25% of the footage that they filmed, that was an impressive job. I'll give them that.
Now that you've brought it up, I'm going to have to watch it once the show is over because I love that trailer.
That was probably the best thing to come out of DC fandom.
Absolutely, 1,000,000%. Nothing even came close. Yeah.
Well, you might want to watch it as a palate cleanser for the next trailer that we're going to be talking about. Titans.
You ruined. I was in a really good mood with that Batman trailer, and then yeah, and I'm the one that
I saw the opening. I had to take it.
Yeah, and I'm the one that has to talk about this stupid trailer too. Yeah, so I've said this on Twitter. Actually, let me pull up exactly what I said because it is it is still exactly what I am feeling right now about just honestly Titans as a whole, because it's just like, I don't know. This has just been I said I'm hoping.
If you've watched the show before, you know how Bryce feels about Titans.
I'm hoping, since the trailer looks bad, that means the show will somehow actually be good this time. And that's
our DC fan,
right? That is our DC enthusiast on this show.
Look, I will be watching this show. I will probably be rewatching Titans before the show because I love these characters. Nightwing is my favorite superhero. It's just my only problem with the show is that they've done a horrible job so far, and so I.
So you like the show, except for the fact that you don't like it.
The costumes are good.
Yeah, the concept of the show is better than the execution.
Yeah.
It's Teen Titans, but it's dark. Teen Titans really aren't supposed to be creepy, dark craziness. It's like...
Yeah.
No, I remember the Teen Titans animated series was one of my favorite series growing up.
And the trailers...
that got into some real stuff, too.
I mean, even going past the past... Let's forget about the last 2 seasons for a second. The trailer shows absolutely nothing. It shows Red Hood... Nightwing's in a little bit. We see a little Barbara Gordon. We see a little Scarecrow. We see everything that we knew was coming. So, I mean, we get nothing new with this. I mean, I'm not expecting them to spoil the whole show, but it's just like there's no reveal here. That there's nothing to get me excited for this. So,
I mean, it's a trailer.
Yeah, I don't really. It's kind of like the Eternals trailer for me, where it's just like, okay, they opened up Adobe Premiere. They picked like a bunch of random shots from the series and put it in a trailer, and that's what they did. And so
I don't know what you expect from trailers. You're like angry that they don't spoil.
No, I just said I don't expect them to spoil anything, but they don't show anything. It doesn't show anything. Like, we have no idea what this is about, you know. Like, with a trailer, I at least expect to know a general synopsis of what's going on. And so
you do know it's the Titan show. It's just the new season. Like, you don't really get a bunch of new stuff in trailers for new seasons.
I don't know.
Like I'm thinking back to past trailers. I'm thinking back to past trailers that we've gotten like in the past year or so. Like Black Widow, I think, did a good job with its first trailer of kind of setting up, you know, what we were seeing there. And especially, I mean, that one helped too because we knew Black Widow from a decade before.
We know I think, at least somewhat what's going to be going on in the movie. With Eternals, Titans, we get nothing. I mean, we know the characters are there, but
I think
Red Hood is going to be a big thing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Red Hood's going to be a major plot point. Blackfire's going to be a major plot point. Scarecrow's going to be a major plot point. Again, we're seeing like 30 major plot points in this show.
I mean, but that to me means the trailer did its job. If it covered that stuff, that's what the show. Like, I don't know what you're expecting.
But it didn't really show like I don't know. Like with Black Widow, we know what the mission is kind of, and we know.
But you can't really count. Black Widow's a movie.
Yeah. Or I was thinking,
and it's Marvel versus DC.
Okay, well, then fine. I mean, it's still the same thing. I guess the Eternals.
Like how would it compare to like the Suicide Squad if we're keeping it in DC?
I wouldn't even say that. I'd say compare it to maybe the season 2 trailer for Harley Quinn, or like the Doom Patrol trailer. You know, like it has to be more of like a DC show, and even then it's like an HBO Max DC show, because I wouldn't necessarily compare it. But I mean, like, I will for a second compare it to the CW ones. You don't really know what's going on in the CW shows. Like for Legends of Tomorrow, for example, the new trailer was like, oh, alien stuff. We already knew that because Sarah got abducted by aliens. Oh, time travel stuff. Yeah, that's the show. So it's not like, you know, and you're like, oh, that's something crazy's happening. Again, that's the show. So to me, the trailer did its job. I think you're mad because Titans makes you mad.
What? Okay, then why did I hate the Eternals trailer? Because I thought it was a bad trailer. I know. I mean, look, I want to love Titans, you know? Like I wish I could fanboy over this show, you know? It's just the trailer gave me nothing to be excited about. And I stand behind that. I think I'm kind of tired of trailers just not showing anything. I mean, I would like to know what's at least what to expect going
I
into
don't know,
something. That's just my personal preference.
Good long time.
I
don't know, because there was a good long time that trailers just straight up spoiled the movie.
And I don't want that either. I think there's a middle ground that can be.
Trailers have a tough job. Like I will say that of hitting that middle ground that you said, like because you can't give away the whole story. Because like I mentioned before, rewatching some of the old Marvel trailers, they gave away a lot of the story, like early MCU stuff. And
even if you think about like old trailers, like, and I'm not saying like they're great movies or anything, but like the Arnold Schwarzenegger one,
Terminator.
Whereas, like not Terminator itself, but like the other Terminator movies, they spoil it in like all the trailers.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, oh, surprise, that guy's a Terminator. That's supposed to be the big twist. That was the trailer.
That's not what I'm looking for. I mean, you can do a trailer and say what the show is about without spoiling the show.
I feel like they did that, though.
Maybe.
I don't, like, Red Hood being a big story plot point, Blackfire used to being a big story plot point, Scarecrow being a big story plot point, and some of that weird circusy crap that was going on in it. Like, that to me is like, okay, so that's big stuff we're going to be seeing in this next season, because the seasons are what, like 8 episodes?
I think closer to like 12.
Okay.
Somewhere in that area, yeah.
Let me look.
So that to me is like, if you get 3 to 4 major plot points, that's pretty good.
Yeah, let me look real quick. So season 1 was 11, and season 2 is 13, season 3 is 13.
Okay. So yeah, that to me is like, okay, they did do their job, and my guess is there's a lot of stuff they're not going to show because it is a surprise. Thank you for subscribing, William Treadwell.
Thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate it.
While we complain and discuss trailers,
but like I said, I think it really just comes down to personal preference. I mean, I think it's really I think it's a really crappy trailer. So I'm hoping that means that the show's actually good, because usually it's the other way around. Like the really good trailers mean that the movie's going to be horrible, unless it's Marvel. Usually they're still pretty good. But also, like I think Rise of Skywalker has some pretty good trailers, but the movie,
it's really hilarious watching you right now, Bryce, because your mic looks like it's just floating in the middle of the air with your background.
Yeah. Sometimes if I'm sitting properly, it disappears, and then if I move forward,
yeah.
But
nice. And I would like to clarify, I'm not saying this is a great trailer by any means.
Yeah.
Just giving the benefit of the doubt.
A little bit. I'm just saying that,
again, I'm gonna watch the show.
I do tend to give trailers the benefit of the doubt, because it is a hard job to do, and it's a super fine line to walk. Like, I think the Eternals trailer is not my favorite, but I also I feel like they should have introduced a little bit more, but at the same time, it's a teaser. So
yeah, for sure.
Giving the vibe out is kind of what you need there. I'm hoping the big real trailer is gonna give us a little bit more information, but even then, if they're going for that Ancient Aliens vibe, I wouldn't be shocked if it's still meant to be kind of a surprise, especially since it's new characters. I don't know. I don't know what I expect from that trailer, and I don't really have
Yeah.
Trailers are hard. Is basically kind of
and we're going to be getting a lot of them over the next few months too, like with a ton of projects coming out, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, everything.
And I'm going to stay on this DC TV track real quick. We are starting the John Diggle Arrowverse tour. He showed up on Batman Batwoman this last week. And he's got weird headache stuff going on, and he's going to a neurologist in Gotham because there's a better neurologist in Gotham than Metropolis or any city that isn't Gotham. I don't know. Weird move, but so we're starting that, and we'll keep you guys updated on what happens with the Green Lantern thing that they're doing with it.
They don't do Green Lantern. Finally, I'm done with the Arrowverse. They've held this off for long enough.
Right.
But
don't feel like the Arrowverse is going on for too much longer, right?
I have no idea. I would like to say yes, but I also like to say no, because they're still making new shows. So
I think it's going to die out with The Flash. I just do.
Yeah, probably.
I have a feeling, if not immediately with The Flash, pretty close to it.
Yeah.
Because Black Lightning's already done. Supergirl's in its last season. Are they doing the what? Naomi, is that in the CW also?
It's CW. I don't know if it's Arrowverse.
I'm pretty sure it's been stated that it is Arrowverse.
Okay.
Well, CWverse or whatever they call it now. I mean, because Stargirl isn't.
Well, yeah,
Right,
it's still in
yeah.
that multiverse though, and they're bringing and John Wesley Shipp is reprising his role as Jay Garrick, so.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna.
It's confusing.
start to die out. But no, so. I mean, it was fun seeing John Diggle again. He's a cool character, so getting to see him interact with some characters he'd never interacted with was nice. I'm excited to see him. Yeah, I'm excited to see him on The Flash, because every time they super speed him, he throws up, so that was very funny.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so no, I think it's gonna be fun to see John Diggle. It's gonna be fun to see what they do with that little ring tease that they did at the end of Arrow. And our last little piece of DC news has to do with some Black Adam stuff.
Yeah, it's not too much, but we got some exciting Pierce Brosnan stuff. He kind of teased his superhero suit a little bit, and this is also just amazing because this is like one of the
in your head.
Yeah, like one of our favorite Bond actors having to put on a motion capture suit, and like I just can't even imagine what Pierce Brosnan in a mocap suit looks like. And he gave this quote. He says he has to put it on, which is an acting challenge in itself. And he said, "I know how to get into tight suits." That was his exact quote.
Because he grew up in theater, yeah.
Yeah, and we know he's playing Dr. Fate in Black Adam, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, but it's kind of like the Doctor Strange-ish of DC in a way.
Sort of, but not.
In a way ish.
A little bit. It's definitely that like magic superstar thing, but I think kind of every other aspect of it is not Doctor Strange-esque.
Fair enough.
I expected it to be a little more practical suit. I didn't necessarily expect it to be fully mocap.
Yeah, because it's not that crazy of a costume in the comics, right?
No, if I remember, it's basically it's a blue suit, it's the gold cape and the gold helmet.
That's
with the helmet, right?
So I don't know. Yeah, it's weird.
So I'm not 100% sure. Maybe if they're going to be doing like magic-y stuff, they wanted to have the mocap, but at the same time...
Yeah. Maybe the suit will glow or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Pierce Brosnan having to be in a mocap suit is just hilarious, but...
It's not the suit you expect to see Pierce Brosnan in.
It's like a mocap suit that looks like a tuxedo.
Okay, that would be amazing. That would be hysterical.
But no, I mean, the Dr. Fate, I'm a little surprised the Dr. Fate costume is going to be not
fully
practical.
Yeah.
So that's been one of the first things that's actually made me a little nervous about Black Adam.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's actually seemed like kind of a cool movie. I mean, The Rock itself is going to be a good thing, but
I like a lot of the cast they have in there.
It's got a good cast.
Yeah, I'm not like saying I don't believe in it or anything, or that this is completely turned me off, but I'm just like, Dr. Fate's suit feels like it should be a little more practical, but okay,
at least some of it.
I want to see what happens with that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I hope they do a good job with it.
We also don't know that they're maybe getting some of the mocap stuff out of the way now, and they're going to be shooting stuff in a practical suit later. We don't know.
Right, they could be doing both.
Yeah, that would not necessarily be a shock, especially if he's going to be doing crazy stuff at some point.
Yeah, because we assume there's going to be a lot of stunt stuff, so.
Yeah, so don't want to totally throw it out the window, but I am hoping, I would love to see him in a practical suit for this. That'd be just very cool look.
He'd look awesome.
Plus, if you're playing a superhero, you kind of want to wear a superhero costume. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, there's obvious instances where you can't, the Hulk or whatever, but, even some of Tom Holland's Spider-Man suits were mocap suits, and not even, just the Iron Spider. And, that, I can imagine might be a little bit disappointing.
Yeah.
He gets to wear the sweatshirt one, that's it.
Right?
Take a picture of me in my super suit.
I know he did the one for Civil War at least, but other than that, I think it's been a lot of mocap suit.
Yeah. But no, I always am like, if I was an actor, I would want to have a super suit that I could take a picture in.
I want to be the suit for sure.
Yeah. So that's our DC news. We So stay tuned for next week when we get to talk about more DC. Hopefully we have more Flash and some more John Diggle would be nice. And now we are going to move on to Star Wars. Titles that got leaked for not next episode, but I think the like 5 after that. And then we have some Ahsoka news that we were able to break this week. So I think we will get straight into the Bad Batch because whoa, that episode was awesome.
Yeah, that, at least in terms of ranking before we get too deep into it, that was probably one of my top 2 or 3 episodes so far, honestly.
Agreed. 100% agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to see Crosshair and the Stormtroopers / Death Troopers show up again. We got to see the Bad Batch really feeling like the Bad Batch again. So maybe it was the inhibitor chips that was making them kind of feel off. That's definitely a possibility. And then our big surprise, and if you have not watched the Bad Batch yet, definitely mute us for like a hot second. Cad Bane showed up. Oh my gosh, Cad Bane is so
How long have we been talking about wanting him back? For I feel like it's been at least a couple months.
Before the show premiered.
Yeah.
No, it was.
And he showed up in the.
Yeah, it was a really cool surprise. I, for some reason, wasn't expecting it. I was thinking whenever the music started playing, it sounded like Mandalorian-esque, and I'm like, they can't be doing that. And then it was Cad Bane. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
3 for a left hook there,
Yeah, he was full Clint Eastwood Cad Bane. They had a gunfight and everything. It was epic.
Yeah, he was only in the episode for what, a minute, and
probably like 2 or 3 minutes. Yep.
Right.
I'm hoping with that like totally Western feel that they're gonna throw him over into live action with like Boba Fett or the next season of Mandalorian or something, because it completely made it seem like he would fit there.
I can't think of who I would want to play Cad Bane, honestly, in a live action thing.
We talked about it a little bit. I would want the same voice actor, and he definitely could be like prosthetics or CGI.
Definitely.
I think they should pull a Mandalorian, have a stunt person doing the actual acting, and have a voice like the voice actor doing the voiceover for it. Because I can't imagine a different voice doing that role.
Right.
And the actor does not look like the character at all. Unsurprisingly, since Cad Bane is blue with the big like red eyes and stuff. But
looks kind of like a bug.
I would love if they brought him to live action and they kind of did Mandalorian style with him. I think he's one of the perfect characters for that.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
And we haven't even like talked about the biggest thing. Cad Bane stole Omega.
Yeah. That's crazy.
He just literal kidnapping. Yeah.
And shot Hunter in the chest. And somehow survived.
Shot Hunter in the chest.
The armor, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh man, yeah.
That clone armor, that stuff's like good stuff in comparison to the Stormtrooper armor, which is like the cheap stuff they find in the garbage, it seems like.
Garage sale outfit.
I mean, the Empire is trying to save money on the Stormtroopers, so I like to assume that they just kind of they just went to like space garage sales. Oh yeah, this will work. And
this works fine.
Oh man, Grandma Tarkin is literally just in somebody's like backyard buying Stormtrooper armor
in bulk.
Yeah,
it's just like pots and pans that they're like tying together. They're like, this is fine. We'll just spray paint it white. It works.
That's exactly what happened. I read it in a book somewhere.
But yeah, like Omega's gone, so they're gonna have to get Omega back. We got Crosshair trying to incinerate them. Like they're in an engine that's about to turn on. That was freaking awesome. I mean, this whole episode, like you said, Richard, definitely top 2 or 3. This is what I want from the Bad Batch. I want the Bad Batch being like epic team. I want them having to deal with crazy people going after them, like from all angles, and still trying to do their job. I loved it. It was so good, and
Yeah.
Cad Bane. I think we're gonna have him
Also,
for a little bit.
second episode in a row where we've got a major Clone Wars
Yeah.
cameo. First was Rex, then
Yeah.
Cad Bane.
I think 3 in a row.
Oh yeah, you might be right, actually.
Yeah.
Because we had the Rafa Trace in the episode before that.
Right, yeah, third in a row.
And the battle droids.
Yeah,
And the
My
yes.
favorite.
Yep.
Love battle droids. I just want battle droids to pop up
Yeah.
sometimes, and just like for no reason.
Yeah, well, I mean, do they ever explain what happened to those?
They got
Well,
melted.
yeah.
That's what we were saying.
Well, I get that, but like, did they like all of them? Like, I gotta assume that
They got
some
turned off and-
made it.
I mean, they got like essentially turned off. So my guess is like they got melted or they got repurposed.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
I'd like to see
Because like end of
yeah,
the day, they are droids.
I'd like to see like a repurposed droid bounty hunter. I think that'd be cool to see in.
Well, we have IG-88. Like there are assassin and bounty hunter
But
droids.
in Bad Batch.
Yeah, I could definitely see them bringing in a character
That'd be
like
cool.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Have Taika voice it. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yes.
Oh man.
Get Taika in Bad Batch. That'd be great.
Oh man, but yeah, Cad Bane was awesome. Crosshair and the Stormtroopers were great. Like I said, like we got Tech and Echo having actual personalities again, which was
That was
very
great.
fun.
Yeah.
Like Wrecker just legit wrecking stuff, which we hadn't seen since like we saw in the last episode, but before that he was not really doing. I'm hoping a lot of the weirdness of the first half of the season was the inhibitor chips.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we're
'Cause
about at the halfway point, right?
I think next yeah, I think
was
that
7 or
episode
8.
maybe. I think that was 8. So yeah, I think we're halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So no, I definitely this felt like the show I wanted. I'm so excited for more of
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
I'm hoping they get Omega back at some point.
Yeah.
yeah, it's probably going to be at least an episode, if not 2.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Knowing
well,
how
we
they handled the inhibitor chips, it'll probably be like half an episode, and then.
Oh God, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we might get some hints in these leaked episode titles that happened.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's actually a good point.
We got some leaked episode titles for episodes 10 through 14 of Star Wars.
So not next
So
week.
not the next week, but the week after that. Yeah.
So, where do we know where these came from? I mean, were these just released or?
No, I mean they're leaked, so I'm gonna guess Reddit.
Yeah, leaked. Okay, yeah, but yeah, but anyway, let's yeah. So so potential spoilers here too, but episode 10, Common Ground, episode 11, Devil's Deal, episode 12, Rescue on Ryloth, episode 13, Infested, and episode 14, War Mantle. So.
Well, Ryloth, so we could be seeing Hera Syndulla or her dad.
Yeah, that
Because they were the
I
ones on
recognize
Ryloth.
that name. So
Yeah, that's where the Twi'leks or Twi'leks come from.
okay.
Devil's Deal. I mean, maybe it takes them that long to find Omega, and they make some sort of deal with Cad Bane or the
Maybe
Caminos
even
or
Mephisto?
something.
Yeah. I'm going to kill you. Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
You brought Mephisto into Star Wars.
I'm sorry. It's the devil. Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, Lord.
I had to. I couldn't help. It was involuntary. It just came out. All right. So,
Mephisto.
Yes.
Infested. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can't totally. Obviously, like they're still pretty unclear, which they do a pretty
Yeah.
good job of that, where you can't figure them out. But
It's a good job, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Ryloth is a cool little
Mhm.
tease. I did not necessarily expect us to go over there. Hera would be really young at this point, but her dad, Bram? I don't know. I can't remember his name. But he was like a big resistance fighter during the Clone Wars and at the time of the rebellion. He was always fighting to free Ryloth. So maybe we'll see them like kind of do a job over there, run into him, help him, be against him, who knows, and maybe we could get a little bit of a tease of Hera similar to what we got with Kanan. That'd be a fun little thing.
We'll call back.
And Chopper. Oh, I want to see Chopper. That's all I want in that episode. Is him just arguing with like Wrecker or something.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm excited for more Bad Batch and these titles like Devil's Deal. Ooh, that's gonna be interesting. I'm curious if that has to do with Omega, because
I'm betting either Omega, Crosshair, Cad Bane, probably one or multiple of those three.
Or Fennec.
Yeah.
Or Oh, yeah, we haven't seen her since that one episode.
I was expecting Fennec to come back, but they brought in Cad Bane instead.
I'm hoping we get something where it's Cad Bane trying to return Omega, and there's like just a bunch of bounty hunters kind of
that'd be fun.
Come in on it. That'd be very cool.
Bounty hunter fest.
Right? They're all trying to steal the bounty, and then you got the Bad Batch trying to sneak in and be like, this is the kid that we need to take care of. Please give them back. Please. There's also
I imagine them sneaking around how they did in the Star Wars Family Guy episode when they're getting off the ship, just with the music going in the background and nobody sees them.
Nice. But no, I'm curious what's going to happen in the next episode. Are they going to try and get help? And if so, from who? Like, will they go back and try and get help from Sid? Will they maybe call Rex back in? There's a lot of really fun possibilities with this. Plus, what's going to happen to Omega? Is she going to are they going to rescue her before she ends up back at Kamino, or are we going to get a heist episode? You know, there's a lot of possibilities. So I'm excited. Plus, you still got Crosshair on their tails, and now Crosshair is pissed.
Yeah, he's pissed.
Got his face kind of burned off.
Yeah. That was his own fault, though, I think.
Oh, my God.
So...
Right?
I mean, it was. Doesn't mean he's not going to blame them. You know what I mean?
Man.
But yeah, no, Bad Batch. I'm digging it.
Yeah.
I hope the rest of the season feels like this episode. I think there's a lot of really fun stuff they could do. Plus, there were rumors of Bo-Katan showing up, so maybe she's gonna show up in what's the 14 called? War something?
It is War Mantle.
War
Mantle. That sounds very Mandalorian.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see that. Maybe we'll see Ahsoka pop up in one of these. I mean, we're sort of expecting it because it's a Dave Filoni project.
At least in some season. Like if they do more, I'm assuming there'll be more than one season. So I don't know if she'll necessarily show up in season 1, but at some point throughout the show, she'll have to show up at some point.
Right. I would love to see Boba Fett. Yeah. So, like I said, I would love something where it's like Cad Bane trying to return with the bounties, and then just all the other bounty hunters trying to steal. That'd be tons of fun. And also, like, is Cad Bane working directly for the Kaminoans, or is it through a middleman like Jabba the Hutt? Or, I mean, we've seen Cad Bane work for Palpatine directly, kidnapping kids before. So is that something that's going to pop up in that? There's a lot of very cool possibilities with this. Plus, it's Cad Bane. He's so cool.
Right?
I just want more Cad Bane. That's all I want.
Oh, for sure.
I want him in, like, all the shows now. I'm like, you brought him back, and he has, like, unlike a lot of the Star Wars characters, we didn't see him after Clone Wars. He was not mentioned, so there is anywhere to go with this guy. And then our last little bit of Star Wars news was an exclusive that, again, we here at the Illuminerdi were able to break last week. They're casting for Barriss Offee in the live-action Ahsoka series. That I did not expect, and I am so down for it. Barriss Offee is a cool character with a lot of really interesting aspects to her, and a really messed up, interesting relationship with Ahsoka that I can't wait to dig into. What do you guys think when you saw that news?
Oh, you go first, Bryce. You know a lot more about it than I do.
I think it's interesting to see. I mean, we're definitely seeing a lot more of these kind of lesser-known Star Wars characters appear in these not really expanded universe, but like these other like live-action spin-offs and stuff like that. So, not. I mean, definitely not expected, but also not exactly super shocking, because we've been seeing a lot of this kind of stuff with these new live action Star Wars shows. But yeah, I mean, Star Wars Ahsoka keeps getting more exciting as we go along. I was already pretty hyped about it. I mean, it's Ahsoka going up against Thrawn. So I mean, but I mean, cool news nonetheless.
And I'm going to jump in before you give your reaction, Richard. So it looks like they're looking for a 20 to 30-year-old actress who is Asian to play this character. And I know there have been a lot of people online saying, well, that's too young. so maybe it's not. It's Barriss Offee from everything we've seen and heard. This is not casting for someone else. This is casting for Barriss Offee. Also, like, could definitely be flashbacks. We don't know. We don't know about a lot of what Ahsoka's been up to since she came back to life during Rebels.
Yeah. Well, also, aliens don't age the same as humans do.
Definitely true. Definitely true. Also, she's green.
Yeah.
Like, so it's gonna be, my guess is like makeup or prosthetics or something. So, the age doesn't really matter as much there. So I don't know. Yeah. Like, but that's a really good point, Bryce. We don't know how long, like, how her alien race ages.
Yeah, we don't know.
But no, Barriss Offee is a crazy cool character. I mean, you would know. You watched Clone Wars recently, Richard. That's all of Barriss Offee is Clone Wars.
Right. It took me a second to remember the name, but yeah, no, this should be a really good one, honestly.
Yeah, she's got really, like, so her and Ahsoka became friends during the second Battle of Geonosis, and we actually saw Barriss Offee in live action very, very briefly in Attack of the Clones on the first Battle of Geonosis. She was one of the several Jedi and Padawans and everything.
Yeah.
So
big battle.
So we see her in Clone Wars in the second Battle of Geonosis, where she and Ahsoka kind of go on this secret mission while Anakin and her Jedi Master Luminara are attacking straight on as sort of a diversion. And they nearly die a couple times, but Ahsoka also manages to save her life more than once, and they become, like, pretty good friends. However, down the line, Barriss Offee has lost all faith in the Jedi and decided to bomb the Jedi Temple and frame Ahsoka for it.
Solid.
What? Not cool, dude. So there's a lot of crazy history there. Anakin was the one who figured out it was actually Barriss and not Ahsoka, but Barriss is the catalyst that led to Ahsoka leaving the Jedi Order. Like, she's a really important character to Ahsoka, so I think this is a really good show to bring her into, especially with how many people that are probably going to be watching live action Ahsoka will not have watched Clone Wars, which is totally fair. Clone Wars is long. I always suggest it, but if you're just watching live action shows, this is a good character to bring in. Again, maybe even as flashbacks to really, like, establish Ahsoka's story. So I think this is very, very cool. I can't wait to see it. I'm really curious who they're going to cast for this character, because Barriss was she was more the traditional Jedi Padawan, where Ahsoka wasn't. Also, Ahsoka was Anakin's Padawan, so it's not a shock that she didn't really fit the mold. And then, like, Barriss's fall into the dark side is so interesting, because it's not about power or anything. It's just like, the Jedi aren't the Jedi anymore, and I've lost faith, and it has made me susceptible to this. So I'm really intrigued to see what they're going to do with this character.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, no, it should be a pretty cool addition, at least.
Yeah, and I'm curious if we're going to see Barriss Offee pop up a little, like, at all before this, because there's obviously other shows coming out first. So are we going to see her in Bad Batch? Are we going to see her in Obi-Wan? Who knows?
Good question.
She's
a lot of possibilities.
Even Lando.
I mean, I love this, like, Filoni-verse thing going, where they can really have all these characters pop up wherever. It's very cool, and I can't wait for more. I mean, it's awesome that we're having these Clone Wars and even Rebels characters become really relevant, you know? So I hope we see more of that. But that is our big Star Wars news. Again, hopefully next week we have more. I love when we get to talk Star Wars. So that is our news for the week. And please join us for the Star Wars Illuminerdi Watch Along, where we'll be watching episode 9 of The Bad Batch on Thursdays at 11:40 p.m. Pacific. It will be myself, Josh, JD, and I think Rob. So that's been very, very fun. If you watched last week's, you know Rob lost his mind when Cad Bane came on screen. So hopefully more of that. But yeah, I think that is our news for this week. Make sure you always keep an eye on the Illuminerdi for our exclusives and features and all that fun stuff coming out. We've got more for you guys, which will be very exciting. And if you are looking for more shows to watch on the Illuminerdi YouTube channel, we've got 4 different Power Rangers shows. We've got the wrestling show. We've got... I don't know what they are. Please tell me what they are.
What?
Whatever.
The Power Ranger show?
The
Yeah.
Power
Yeah.
Rangers
So,
one.
I mean, we've got 2 Power Ranger shows and 2 Super Sentai shows. So, I mean, four basically tokusatsu shows, yeah. So you're right. You're right. It's just a funny
Cool.
way
So
to
we've
say
got
it.
that.
We got that.
Wrestling show later tonight, and we have the premiere of the Rick and Morty Smoke Along later tonight as well. We have the Star Trek Riker Maneuver show that I believe is on Wednesdays, but I might be incorrect on that one.
Around, so.
And like I said,
Yeah.
we've got the Marvel watch alongs on Tuesdays at 11:40 p.m. Pacific. We got the Star Wars watch alongs on Thursdays at 11:40 p.m. Pacific, and then we have It's All Connected on Sundays at 1 p.m. So please make sure you join us again here next week, where we'll be talking the news for Star Wars, DC, and Marvel. We will be talking about the shows that have been coming out, and we will be talking about any exclusives that we drop that fit into those categories.
Oh yeah.
So thank you for joining us. Happy Father's Day.
Yes.
Okay, yep.
And we will see you here next week.
See you guys.
All right. See you guys.